and the Batasang Pambansa is not in government, is run by a caucus, and who are the political party regions. Then, of course I know I'm right. I know I'm right. The trouble is that the Western press doesn't seem to be conversant with the parliamentary system. You know, you're used to the President of the United States, even if you are an Asian. But you cannot place in the same category because we have changed our form of government.
I'd like to ask another question about the peace and order situation. In your statements on the killing of General Karangal, you said that subversives...
I do not hear you. I cannot understand.
Oh, in your
Will you get closer to the mic, please?
In your statements on the killing of General Karangal, you said that subversives had a liquidation list of government leaders, including yourself and members of the cabinet. What evidence do you have for the existence of this list? And
we have the testimony of two of the men who are involved in the conspiracy.
I see. Could you tell us some more about this conspiracy?
I cannot. This is a matter which is of the highest secrecy. But all I can tell you is that the manner in which the killing was made has been assessed by all our experts. For instance, such things like a smoke bomb. This smoke bomb has been used in most of the killings in the South. The latest killing in Davao, for instance, was covered by two smoke bombs thrown into the area of the crime, and the getaway was either motorcycle or in a car. Two of them backing them up. This is what happened here. Mm-hmm. Now, we have been talking about assassination plots. Perhaps we should go back to the period before martial law was proclaimed in 1972. There were 7 attempts at assassination against the president. There was an attempt to kill the Minister of Defense in broad daylight. There was an attempt to kidnap the American ambassador and burn the American embassy. And there was an attempt to kidnap the foreign minister of the Philippines, etc., etc. Bombing of City Hall, bombing of the Constitutional Convention, and parades and demonstrations in the streets proclaiming the subversives would take over the government. Now, when I see those demonstrations, therefore, and riots, and obtain evidence to the effect that they are being incited by the political opposition, I wonder whether they know exactly what they are doing. They are opening the gates for an infiltration by the subversives and terrorists into their ranks. And I have no doubt that this has happened.
In your opinion, the people responsible for killing General Karangal were definitely NPA. They weren't criminals.
No, I'm not saying NPA. I'm saying subversive terrorists.
What type of subversive terrorists?
There are several types of subversive terrorists in our country. There are MNLF, NPA. There is the new Communist Party under Prudente. Then there are the professional killers under the hire by several groups, including civilians.
What types of groups? What types of groups under civilians?
Well, the groups who have an axe to grind, who have a particular mission or objective. You want us to draw the crime profile for you? Well, we will do that after a while.
Okay, thank you.
Mr. Bill Brannigan of the Washington Post. Bill?
Elected more opposition assemblymen than expected.
Well, we are assessing this message. You fellows in the Western press say there is a message that has been given me. I say yes, but one of the messages I get is don't ever disregard black propaganda any time in your political career. This time we disregarded it. We refused to dignify rumors and suspicions, even if they were printed or broadcast by the foreign media. And such a thing like, for instance, the suggestion that the President and the First Lady had anything to do with the killing of Aquino. We refused to say anything about it. But the black propaganda worked. Some of our people began to suspect that the reason that there was silence about this is we were under suspicion and we could not answer those charges. And when you say to Miss Oriental, a party caucus, and this will require her making a decision. She is, of course, very deeply disappointed about Metropolitan Manila. And that's why she has been quiet and has not them with all the legitimate tools at our command. I consider the decree-making power a legitimate tool against the subversives and terrorists of my country.
Thank you, sir. If I may just follow up on the question of Mr. Lohr, if the aspirants improves.
Well, can you tell me a better reason?
As far as I know, sir, the only person who has indicated any intention of running is Minister Enrile, who says he will run if you or the First Lady don't. Is this meant as a...
No,
does this remark refer to Minister Enrile?
I think that was a political gimmick for his election to the Batasan. I always tolerate things like this, but I am sure he is not the only one who said it. Several other KBL members said it. And, well, that's their assessment. I presume that they need a little more moral boosting. That's why they are talking about 87. And they think that they have won an election. They just lost an election.
Sir, if I may just follow up on Ms. Liu's question about General Caringal's murder. You have indicated that the possibility of it being communist subversives. Are you also leaving your mind open to other possibilities?
Yes, we have several theories.
Because I know that one of the newspapers today reported that organized crime might be involved. Is that also a possibility?
That's true. That's possible.
Okay, then you have not reached...
Just like when we assessed the matter of the Cebu demonstration, everybody was kicking about the politicians and all that. When the pictures were assessed, most of those in the forefront of the riots were police characters, identified by the policemen of Cebu. And so I realized immediately what was happening, that they were using these professional criminals for their own purposes. And this could have happened in the Caringal case.
Is it possible that it may be organized crime without any links to communist subversives?
I cannot imagine organized crime without any links to communism here in this country.
Okay, sir, just one final question. On the Aquino assassination investigation, you said in September that you were convinced that not even a low-ranking soldier was involved in the crime. With the evidence that has come out before the Agrava Commission, evidence that seems to indicate that a good possibility that Mr. Galman was not the killer, or that if he was, he does not really have communist links, that assessment.
Now look, I appointed the commission to conduct an investigation. You want me to undermine that commission by discussing this problem? What I did say in September was in accordance with the evidence that had been submitted to me by the police officers and the Metrocom, Metrocom and the chief of Metrocom, General Olivas. The indications are that no soldier participated in this dastardly crime. Now, I would suggest that you review the evidence presented to the Agrava Commission, because our assessment is that the evidence supports his statement, but I will not debate about it. I will not argue about it. I intend to allow the Agrava Commission full, complete freedom in determining exactly what happened in this case. So you will please excuse me from answering any more questions on it.
I understand, sir. Can I just ask one that goes a little bit beyond that? The Agrava Commission went...
Or rather, from beginning, June up to December, we will have to depend more and more on the commercial banks.
If I could just follow that up, is that the commercial banks
Abroad.
Domestically or abroad?
Abroad. Well, both. Mm-hmm. Both, because the commercial banks here have proper, and I am equally proper with the United States. We don't intervene in our internal affairs, but we are interested in the results.
Thank you very much.
Is there some more?
While simultaneously coping with the continued decay of the economy and the growth of an armed revolution in the countryside.
I am going to do it. There's no option. There's no other option. I am president. I was elected as such. I will continue as president until 87. And I intend to perform my job as efficiently as I did from 1965 to 1984. I don't think there is any other alternative. And frankly, just between us, I feel that I am much stronger now than I was in 1982 and 83. I am over the hump on this question of the malignancy arising from shrapnel wounds. My allergies seem to have been removed. And thank God I'm back to my exercise and sleep program.
One more quick question, Mr. President. Most of the election irregularities and violence that I and others who covered the recent National Assembly elections observed or investigated had nothing to do with the NPA. I noted in your opening remarks an emphasis on subversives and terrorists. Does this foretell a new military crackdown, and if so, why?
It's not a crackdown. The responsibility for maintaining peace and order has been returned to the Kilusan Bagong Lipunan. Now, I don't know why Americans do not seem to realize the danger of a communist rebellion. Ever since Vietnam, you have been trying to close your eyes to the danger that arises from communism. And we people who are fighting communism every day, who are facing possible liquidation every day, we have to face up to the fact that if we do not weaken the NPA, the subversives now, later on, they'll be marching in our streets here in the city again and proclaiming the takeover of the government, as they did in 1972. Now, when you say crackdown, listen, there is a continuing fight in Southeast Asia between the established governments and the communist subversive threats. They may not even be communists, they may not even understand Marxism and communism, but they certainly know the dictum that power comes out of the barrel of a gun, and they're using it. Now, perhaps they're using also the United Front tactic, which means incorporating and integrating into the effort against the government all parties who may have any reason to be disenchanted or aggrieved about the government or about persons in the government, like Marcos or his cabinet members, or even the policemen. Now, this is the United Front tactic, which is well known to all political leaders in Southeast Asia. You have students, you have workers, you have church members, you have nuns, you have priests, and you have others who, while not identified with the left or the communist or socialist party, are manifesting some grievance against the government. The political groups also try to utilize this disaffection with persons in government and without identification of ideology in order to obtain votes. But the Communist Party does it not just to obtain votes, but to undermine the government and grab authority by violence. And so it's really not a crackdown. It is a continuing effort, which was suspended when the COMELEC deputized, that's the term, deputized all the members of the military and the police for the election process. I also said that there is no reason for keeping our minds closed to other theories with respect to the Karingal case. There may be other reasons for it, and we intend to find out.
Mr. Victor Niedo. of the press.
All questions have been answered. May we thank the President for this press conference as well as look forward to the next one.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
You will keep the papers here.
Well, I hope that